Hey guys! I hope that you guys are doing amazing wherever you are in the world. My name is Shikha and I welcome you to my channel. I'm so grateful that you guys are listening, subscribing, and commenting on my channel. I really appreciate the support. In this video, I wanted to speak to you guys about INFJs and how we are constantly working towards building a peaceful universe around us. This doesn't necessarily mean that we're always constantly working on our homes, which we are, or our relationships, which we are, or our community, which we might be as well, but also the world in general. We do not like feeling like there is a lack of peace in any aspect of the world that we live in. So if some kind of tragedy is going on in the world, somewhere in the world, it will affect our solace, it will affect our peace as well, because there is no way, as an individual, as an awakened person, I can be at peace when there is tragedy happening somewhere else on the planet. Now, that doesn't mean that I walk around moping and cursing the world and crying and trying to commit suicide. Maybe I do part of the time I do that, but a lot of times the idea is that INFJs are always trying to think of ideas or think of ways in which they can improve upon the world that we live in, improve the universe that we're living in, and to ensure that it's as peaceful as possible. Right? The door slam, of course, is one of our main strategies that we use in order to protect ourselves from negative relationships and toxicity. There are a lot of people out there who don't realize they're being toxic, right? And that's one of the reasons I've stopped doing the door slam, is because I've realized that people don't actually know that they're being toxic. They're not intentionally, most of the time, they're not intentionally putting you down or intentionally bringing negativity into your life. So you need to have a conversation with them so you can explain to them what they're doing before you tell them, I'm sorry, you can't be in my life anymore. If you don't have that conversation, they're not going to know what they're doing wrong, and they're going to keep on doing the wrong thing over and over again to other people. It is our responsibility as the awake one, as the aware one, or the conscious one, to let them know what they're doing and to prevent it from happening to other people. Right? So of course, door slam is one of the tools that we use in order to ensure that our relationships are at peace. Conversations, communications, a little bit hard for us sometimes. Confrontation is absolutely impossible for us a lot of times. And so in order to avoid all that negativity, we just remove that relationship from our life. In our homes, we're constantly making sure that we have peace in our homes. So we're constantly making sure that it's clean. We don't bring in a lot of items. We're minimalist. We don't bring in a lot of random, unnecessary items into our lives. And so we ensure that we live a very minimalistic life. Most of our closets and cupboards are empty. My closets and cupboards in this house, most of them are actually pretty empty. And if I do have stuff, I have like 5 of those items. So if I have utensils, I have 5, forks. I have 3 spoons. Things that I really absolutely need, I have. But besides that, I don't bring in unnecessary items because I don't want to create a chaotic home life. I want to have a very peaceful home life, and I want to have a home life where it's easy to clean up. So I can clean it up in 2 seconds or in like a 10-minute thing, in a 10-minute stint, and I don't need to waste too much time on keeping it peaceful. And to have a chaotic life, a chaotic mind, we need to have a really normal and non-chaotic home life, right? We need to have a very non-chaotic home and clean and pretty not messy. Like we can't handle messiness, right? I know that I've actually lived with other people who are extremely messy, and it always resulted in a lot of strife and a lot of negativity in my mind. I would always be thinking about it. I'll always be upset by it and disturbed by that messiness, right? And so that's why, of course, I like living on my own, and I like to keep my place extremely clean. I make my bed every morning. Every single time I'm moving around, I'm making sure that I'm picking up things in order to put them in the right place. If I get up to go to the kitchen, I'll always make sure to take something with me if there is something that I can take with me so that I'm not walking empty-handed. I'm always making sure that everything is in the right place as much as possible. So if I pick something up and I use it, I try to put it back as soon as possible, because that means that I know where everything is and I don't have to think about it. I don't have to waste my time on it, right? More than the home life and the relationship life, I think a lot of our peace comes from the work that we do. A lot of us as human beings on this planet are spending majority of our time working, right? I think a lot of us spend maybe 10, maybe 12 hours a day working, which is more than half our life. And so if you're going to be spending so much of your time working, it is absolutely crucial that there's a lot of peace that comes from it, right? if it's not peaceful in a manner that makes you feel good about yourself and it utilizes your talents and abilities and it makes an impact, it kind of fulfills all of your desires and makes you feel like you're making some sort of change, some sort of impact on the planet. If it doesn't fulfill all these criteria, then you're just basically working at a job. It's not your true life purpose, and that in itself is going to give you a lot of stress, and it's going to remove the peace from your life. And that's one of the things that INFJs are always working towards. I know for me, when I worked in jobs that were just jobs for me and did not fulfill me and didn't give me that solace, that peace that I wanted, that desire to change the world in my own little way, I knew that I was always miserable, and it resulted in a lot of stress buying and a lot of consumerism and a lot of drinking, and it was a terrible time in my life. But as soon as I realized that how important it is for me to work at something that really matters to me, as soon as I made that change, peace reigned again, right? Peace came back into my life in a certain manner. Now, it doesn't mean that I'm always peaceful and I'm always happy about the work that I'm doing. Even though I'm doing the work that I care about, there are some moments in my life where I think to myself, why am I wasting my time on this? Or why am I spending so much time on this? Or why am I spending so much effort on it? I could just go back to a normal corporate 9-to-5 job and it'd be so much easier, right? Now, of course, those are just moments, and I do come back to reality very soon, which is that I love my work and I love what I'm doing. But I do have moments like that as well. But as much as possible, in general, as INFJs, we like to bring peace into our life. And that peace might mean different things to different people, right? Of course, if you're a mother, you can't necessarily have that typical peace that a single person like me might have. But in other ways, you're going to bring peace into your life by either making sure that your children are happy, or they have everything that they desire, or that you spend quality time with them, or that your husband gets all the nutrition that he needs, or that he sleeps well, things like that. We're always doing things to ensure that there is peace reigning on this planet and in our life, right? Now, unfortunately, we're living on a planet right now which is in strife, and it is in a panic mode right now. There is a lot of stuff going on this planet that needs our attention, and we need to be paying attention and making sure that we do the right thing. Using less plastic, reusing, refusing, or reducing as much as possible, making sure that you're not putting out too much food waste, making sure you compost if possible, making sure that you don't fly or use planes or walk as much as possible, right? So there's a lot of different things that we do as INFJs in order to bring peace into our life and onto this planet. We have this innate sense of the world, and we want to ensure that the equilibrium that we have created in this world, there is equilibrium that we create in our life and in our worlds, we want to ensure that it stays steady, right? There are a lot of things that are going to pull us out of balance, obviously. Life is not going to stay steady for the rest of eternity. You can't just set it and forget it, right? So you have to keep on tweaking things, and you have to constantly be looking at your life to make sure that you are changing things up to try and bring it back to balance over and over and over again, right? Every single day, that's one of the things that an INFJ is going to do, is to take inventory of their life and take inventory of their relationships and everything that's going on in their life to ensure that they're at balance. And if they're not at balance, one of the questions we ask ourselves constantly is what is causing my peace to be deleted, or what is causing my peace to be disturbed? Why am I feeling this imbalance in my life? And we're constantly asking this question to ourselves. Am I not spending enough time with my spirituality? Am I not spending enough time taking care of my physical body? Am I not eating enough food or drinking enough water? Am I not doing the kind of work that I really care about? Are my relationships the ones that are causing me strife? Is there a toxic or an energy vampire in my life right now? Things like that. We're constantly asking questions like this in order to ensure that we bring peace upon our life, and to bring ourselves back to balance or equilibrium as much as possible. Now, I said obviously that the equilibrium is going to go up and down. It's going to keep on swaying and oscillating, because that's life. You're gonna bring it to balance, and all of a sudden your car breaks down, and you bring it back to balance again by fixing your car, and your washing machine breaks down. Or you fix that, and one of your partners leaves you. Your partner leaves you, or one of your best friends says she doesn't want to be friends with you anymore, or she has a fight with you. And there's always constantly things going on in your life that are going to pull you out of balance. But as an INFJ, it is our ardent desire to stay in balance and at peace with the world and in our life. So we're constantly trying to ensure that we bring ourselves back to balance. And as I said, one of the main ways we do it, and the main way I recommend that you guys do it, is constantly check in with yourself. If you can do it once a day, that's awesome. If you don't have time to do it once a day, try to do it at least once a week and just sit down in a silent space by yourself and just analyze your entire life. Now, it won't take you that long because there's not a lot of areas that we really care about. And also being introverts, we don't have a lot of things that we say yes to. So sit down and think about, okay, is my physical body all right? Do I feel physically healthy and physically good? If not, what can I change? Are my relationships all right? If not, what can I change? Is my work all right? If not, what can I? And you kind of go through all the lists of things that you're kind of doing in your life right now, and you figure out what is specifically causing you strife or causing you disturbance, and what's causing you peace. Because it's actually also good to analyze, why are you at peace, right? What is it that's causing you to have peace? And I also want to know, what am I doing right? And also obviously, what am I doing wrong? But also, what am I doing right in my life, right? What am I doing right so that this in my life is going well? And to analyze it and to remember it for the next time when something goes out of whack and you're like, all right, I need to fix it. How do I bring it back to balance? Well, I know what balance looks like. I can compare and correct, right? I hope this makes sense to you guys. It is an instinctual and unconscious thing that INFJs do. I think that we do it just without even thinking about it, right? We just do it instinctually. And we do it by gut. But I really imagine it would be better if we start doing it more consciously. And that's what I've been doing in my life, consistently asking the question, am I at peace? And if I'm not at peace, if I feel disturbed, what is exactly causing that disturbance? And what action can I take in order to fix that disturbance right now in this moment in time? Right? And the action is specifically important because you have to change something in your life in order to come back to balance again, come back to peace again. Again, if you guys have any questions about this video or any other video topic I've done, please message me anytime. I know a lot of topics that I share are sometimes a little bit abstract, and they're just my meanderings, my mind going through all the different things that I do and trying to share it in a way that makes sense. But sometimes it might not make sense. And if you guys have questions, please message me. All my contact information is in the description below, and I shall see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.